Hello STMA staff, thanks for watching this video. In this video, I will review the February 18th school board meeting. At the last school board meeting on February 18th, the school board heard a number of reports and took action on multiple items. First, it was noted that it is School Board Recognition Week. The Minnesota School Boards Association set February 17th to 21st as Minnesota School Board Recognition Week. This is a time to build awareness and understanding of the important role that school board members play in building strong schools, which in turn create a strong community. I thank school board members on behalf of students, staff, parents, and community members for their service on the school board and for sharing their time and talents to help prepare us for a better tomorrow. Each school board member was presented with a certificate and a pin. Second, Director of Teaching and Learning Terry Johnson, Curriculum Coordinator Sherry Liedel, and Technology Integration Coordinator Sandy Ferris updated the board on the work that's been done on findings from the Strategic Plan Assessment of the Teaching and Learning Department. The assessment is part of Strategic Direction C, Align People and Organizational Resources to Sustain District Success. This focuses on people, staffing levels, roles and responsibilities, work culture, structure, and practices to increase efficiency, effectiveness, and staff satisfaction. As part of the strategic plan, each STMA building and department will be assessed to examine effectiveness and efficiency. The committee that assessed the Teaching and Learning Department was composed of a broad mix of stakeholders who met this school year. The focus of the committee was to determine the department's most acute needs in the next 2 to 4 years. A link to the presentation is attached to the email I sent you. Third, the board did a second reading and approved new school board policy number 626. This policy is for adding activities. In August, Director Cornell asked the school board for guidance on adding activities. The board asked Director Cornell to do some research and come back with a proposal. While there are financial, staffing, and facility implications to adding new activities, the new policy 626 allows groups to be recognized but does not add cost to the district. The board did a first reading of this policy at the February 3rd meeting. Policy 626 is attached to the email I sent you. Fourth, Director of Business Services Chris Crocker presented a revised budget for fiscal year 2020. When the budget was first approved on June 17, 2019, there was a deficit spend of just over $680,000. Since that time, the deficit has grown to $1.2 million. This result is an unassigned general fund balance of approximately $12.7 million, which is approximately 2.2 months of operating expenses, but within our fund balance board policy of at least 1.5 months of operating expenses. A link to the information presented by Director Crocker is attached to the email I sent you. Fifth, the board designated the district's auditor. Director of Business Services Chris Crocker recently completed a request for proposals, RFP, for an auditor. It is best practice to do an RFP periodically for service providers such as auditors. As a result of the RFP, the district received responses from 5 firms. The district is not required to accept the lowest proposal. Rather, the district has the right to select the firm that is the most responsible and will give the district the best value. Director Crocker and I recommended approving MMKR as the district's designated auditor. The board approved MMKR as the board's auditor for the fiscal year and will reevaluate in subsequent years. A memo from Director Crocker regarding the auditor is attached to the memo email that I sent you. 6. The board approved a request for a 6.5-hour per day special education paraprofessional. The request is due to an increase in special education students at St. Michael Elementary School. The cost for the new position is approximately $40,000, but the district receives about 44% of the salary back in state aid. 7th, the board did a first reading of the 2019-2020 seniority list for certified employees. This is an annual process per the contract and state statute. The seniority list will be brought to the March 2nd meeting for school board action. The The seniority list is attached to the email I sent you. Eighth, the board took action on a request for a new position for the Teaching and Learning Department. Members of the Teaching and Learning Department and a committee of 12 staff members from throughout the district conducted a thorough needs assessment of the department's current practices and services. One of the recommended action steps for improvement was to add a Director of Curriculum and Student Programming position beginning next school year. This person will be responsible for all aspects of early childhood through grade 12 curriculum and student intervention programming. Restricted staff development funds will cover the cost of the new position. State statute mandates what these dollars can be used for, and they can't be used in the classroom for teachers or paraprofessionals. Next, the board took action on an employment-related settlement agreement with the Principals Union. Lastly, the board moved into a closed session to discuss negotiations with the Certified Staff Union. If you have questions about any of the school board summary, please reach out to your building principal or supervisor. I am also happy to answer any questions or address any concerns you may have. Our next school board meeting is Monday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. in the boardroom at Middle School West. A schedule of meetings, agendas, and minutes can be found on the district website. In closing, thanks for the work you do. I notice what you do, and I'm grateful for your work. I hope you have a great weekend.